What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Recruiting Roundup. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Cody Cameron. And this week we're talking about the game that I was at this week. And that's because we got to see Tucson up here right in our backyard at Mountain Point that was in South Point Catholic. And there are just so many studs on that team. I was absolutely blown away. I can't wait to see them inevitably in the playoffs later on this season. So a couple guys I want to highlight there. I'm going to start with Nathan Spivey. He's the DB wide receiver. He opened the game with a 75-yard touchdown. So immediately on my radar, watching him the rest of the game and then talking to him after. He has a great head on his shoulders. He's very, very well spoken. I was really impressed with his mentality around the offers that he's had so far because he's looking at D2, D3 right now, but he really feels like this D1 caliber player. And he's kind of just waiting for his time and has the mentality of if it doesn't come, I'm meant to be in a D2 program and I can work my way into a program that I can play at. He's just very team oriented as well. And I think with the way South Point is playing as a team, I think that D1 offer is kind of inevitable, but that's my own take. Cody, what do you see in Nathan Spivey?
He's so good. He's been one of my favorite players in the state the last 12 months. He came up here last year when they played Liberty, and it was a tough game for the Lancers, but he had like three interceptions against Navi. Navi Bruzon, one of the best players in all of Arizona, Gatorade Player of the Year. Nathan Spivey is a stud. And like you said, you did a great job mentioning this. He does it all. He is an impact player on both sides on offense and defense. He's a tremendous tackler in kind of secondary and also comes up in the box as well. And then offense, he's electrifying, Claudia. I watched them play Centennial a couple weeks ago, and same thing, second half, he takes the first snap outside zone and just cruises down the sideline untouched. So he's a really special talent, not just in the Tucson area, in the entire state of Arizona.
Moving on to another player, Morgan Curie. He's a wide receiver. One that you told me to watch out for, and I think you said something along the lines of just like the really tall, kind of skinnier guy. Perfect description there. He recently committed to Western Illinois. He's a three-sport athlete, which we talk about all the time on the recruiting roundup. Obviously, if you're 6'5", basketball, throw that in there. Track, football, he's doing a little bit of everything. We talked about his commitment, and for him, it was really about finding that community. And going up there and taking his visit is really what sealed the deal. He found himself in a position where he's like, I like the coaches, I like the players, everything you should be looking for at the next level. And of course, an opportunity for him to play and play early, ideally.
Yeah, you're exactly correct. And the athleticism shines, right? Like you have the frame, the big 6'5" frame, but sometimes the athleticism is always there as a younger athlete. It's there. He's so smooth out of his breaks. He does a great job with his hand-eye coordination and body control on a lot of those nine routes and backside shoulders. It's all there for him. He's a great football player, and he is a top weapon for that South Point offense.
Hey, let's talk top weapon on special teams and Kaya Francone, the kicker over there. He's the number one kicker in the state of Arizona, number 23 in the country. This game, because South Point was playing so well, I didn't get to see many of those. He's had a couple games where he's had multiple 50-plus yard field goals. Honestly, I complimented him on how he's marketing himself on Twitter, and I do see that often with kickers. I actually really love it. I feel like year after year, they do a really great job of the things that we've talked about. He's a soccer player turned kicker. He has two state championships in soccer under his belt. So now he's just full forced, wants to play football, wants to do it at the next level. If only he had, graduated last year. ASU's been looking for a kicker, right? Maybe that would be the perfect guy to have.
Yeah, he booms the ball. When I broadcasted their game against Centennial, that was one of the games he had two plus 50-yard field goals. I immediately nominated him for an Ed Doherty medallion, which he did get and deservedly so. Best kicker in the state. Touchbacks. It's just clear as day that he boosts it out of the thing. And he's probably good. I don't know. I might say it. He's probably good from 60, honestly. Really well coached at South Point as well. Yeah, let's keep rocking in Southern Arizona and one of the hottest teams in the state with Marana. We always talk 2026 class, that next up and coming wave. They have a defensive lineman named Hayden Utley. Kind of plays all over the place, a lot of one, a lot of three tech, violent, always knifing inside offensive lineman. These stats that he has are crazy right now. 18 tackles for loss and 10 sacks, about two-thirds, three-fourths of the way through the season. And Marana solidifying themselves as an open team. I can't wait to see us have our media eyes on a kid like this and Hayden Utley, but as well as collegiate coaches. Great grades. He's one of the strongest kids in the state of Arizona. He is a monster for Marana up front.
That's all for this edition of the Recruiting Roundup. For more recruiting news, you can head to sports360az.com.